Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Matthew 7:1-2. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jakayla. If you're new, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing the crazy story when I went to jail with my best friends. So before we get started, don't forget to like this video, comment, and then subscribe so you guys can see my face again. So let's just get started. I've been really big on watching story times on YouTube. There's this girl, I believe her name is like Life with Symone, story times. A1. I'll leave her channel down below. Literally love all of her stories. I just listen to them while I'm getting ready. So I was like, okay, like I have some crazy stories from college. Like from my early 20s, because you know your girl's gonna be 26 this year. So like I can say that now. Like my early 20s, I have some crazy stories that like only like me and my best friends know. But, you know, I just decided, like, why not? Like, I might as well just share it. Like, it's past us. I was going to share this story a while ago, but, like, they weren't ready because, like, their family didn't know or whatever. But now, like, it's behind us. Like, we can tell the story now. I'm going to be smiling and I'm going to be laughing, but, like, this whole situation is not funny. But, like, looking back on it, it's just, like, it was a crazy night. And, like, all I can do is, like, laugh and like smile and like I'm just relieved and like thank God that everything is okay. So a little backstory, and I'll also be drinking a margarita, and I'm in my husband's studio, his workroom. So that's like the change of scenery. But a little background. So in college, when I turned 21, I was wild. So I was newly single, and I was like able to drink, and I was a drinker before, but like not really. I always thought like when people went to bars and stuff like that, that was weird. Like bars is where old people hung out, but like in college, like my city, but like I don't know, like it was a small town. So I went to Western Michigan University, and there's a place called the library, and it was just like everybody hung out there. Like if you was 21 and up, maybe some people who was younger than 21, but like if you was 21 and up, you was going there, you was going to the Y bar, you was going to the Old Goat, like you were going to bars. Like it was like I loved going to bars, and I didn't realize that I was like going. But this night, it was my best friend's birthday. I don't want to say their names, but they're sisters, and we just go name. We'll go name them. We gonna name sis and I don't know what to name them. I really should have thought about this. Let's name them chocolate and peanut butter. We just gonna name them chocolate and peanut butter. Why not? So pretty much chocolate and peanut butter, it was their birthdays. We was like, okay, we're gonna turn up for your birthdays. Like, let's turn up. Like, we gotta do this. And I really, like, the night before it all happened, it was like a huge blur. Like, I was the type of person that, like, when I was drinking, like, I was gonna get drunk. Like, there was no in between. And I was always the designated driver. My sister had a car as well, but like out of our like tight group of friends, like it was 5 of us, and my sister wasn't 21 yet. And then the twins, well, I guess we can call them the twins. We can do that. But chocolate and peanut butter, they were twins. I believe they both had cars. But I was always the designated driver. Like, everybody would be like, oh, Jakayla, you can't drive, but when you're drunk, like, you can drive type of thing. So it was just like, okay, I'm the driver. And so like this night we went out to the library. And when we went out to the library, I really don't remember much. But I probably, most likely I had a Four Loko. Now, I guess Four Lokos is like something that you drink before you're 21. Like people who weren't allowed to drink, like they would drink one of those. But me and my friends, we would drink those. Like that would get us there. That's all we needed. And I'm not 100% sure if I drank one, but let's just say I did. But I probably shared it with somebody else. So I would drink like half of it. And so like we went to the library, and I was never the type of person that would like buy a lot of drinks at the bar. Like that just wasn't my vibe. Like I get it was their birthdays and we was turning it up. But it's like we'll always get something to drink and like pregame before we went out. So most likely that's what we did. Mind you, this is like, I'm just talking off of like, this is most likely what we did. I really don't remember because I blacked out that night. Not okay, but like that's what I did a lot of the times. Like whenever I drank, like it's not even like I'm like a small girl, because like if you know me, like I'm not a small girl, I'm not a petite girl. Like my friends are, the twins are very petite girls, but like for me it would just like alcohol just got me drunk. Like it got me there. And it didn't help that I probably wouldn't eat before I went, or like I would eat but probably not eat a lot, because I was like the type of person like, oh, I don't want to eat until like I was drunk, because food just hit different when you're drunk. Again, none of this is okay, but regardless, we most likely grabbed a Four Loko. And then like we had another friend with us, we'll call her Shorty. So probably me and Shorty split a Four Loko, and then twins, they split one. Most likely. Or I have my own and they share it, because I will also do that too. So that's like what I would do. Like I would do that, and then I would go out to the bar and then like get one drink. I would buy myself one drink. I would literally bring in just enough money. Like I'll bring my card, but like I know that I was only spending enough for one drink, like probably $10, $15 at that on one drink. So that night I remember people like buying us drinks, people like buying us shots. Mind you, we're in college. But people are still doing that. Like at this bar, it was majority white people, but like there were some, black, it was some of us there. So I remember people were buying us shots, because like we were like, oh, it's their birthday, and then like the twins would be like, oh, get my friends some drinks too, or whatever. And so like that night, it was crazy. I just remember getting really, really lit, like very, very lit. And I was the type of person that had my cell phone, and like I'm like 100% sure, those stickers that people will put on the back of their phones, and then you will put your ID and like a card in there. I had one of those on my case, and I feel like I remember giving it to somebody, like giving my phone to somebody to hold for me, because I had a purse. Or I didn't have a purse. I never took a purse with me. I hated bringing a purse with me. So I would just give it to a friend or something like that. And so I'm trying to remember the night. Like the drink is already hidden. Yeah. So pretty much that night, I gave my phone to somebody. Don't remember who I gave it to. And towards the end of the night, we were leaving, and again, I was a designated driver, so I took my friend Shorty home, and she was like right next to the library, so it was like, okay, boom, like took her home. Mind you, I'm drunk. Don't drink and drive, kids. Like definitely not okay. And so it's time for me to take the twins home. So the twins don't live together, but one of the twins, Peanut Butter, was going over Chocolate's house. So we was like, okay, like I'll just drop y'all off or whatever. And so this night, like I do not remember having my phone out with GPS, because I remember Chocolate being like, I don't know where I live, I don't know where I stay. And I was just like, what do you mean? Peanut Butter is just like, oh, she lives downtown. And I'm like, okay, like head downtown. Like in Kalamazoo, there's only like one way to go downtown, honestly. So I'm headed downtown, and so I'm taking the road, and I'm like, okay, Peanut Butter, like, where does she live? Peanut Butter is coming in and out of consciousness. Peanut Butter is no longer with us. Like, she is like here, but she's not here. And so I'm like, Chocolate, like, where do you live? Like, in my old car, it was a 2-door. I love my old car. It was a 1988 Dodge Aries. Loved it so much. It was like rose gold. Loved that car. But it was a 2-door. But like the front seat was connected. It was like one. So there was like a little armrest that would fold down or whatever to separate the two seats, but it was like still one seat. And like that night it was like up or whatever, because I never really had it down, honestly. I never had it down. So Chocolate is sitting right next to me in the front seat, and Peanut Butter is in the back seat. And I'm just like looking at the rearview mirror, and I'm like, Peanut Butter, where does she live? Where does she live? And she's like, sleep. She was just up 5 seconds ago. So I'm like, Chocolate, like, where do you live? Where do you live? And she's just like, I live downtown, da, da, da. And I'm like, okay, I'm downtown. Like, where do you live? And she's just like, stop hitting me. Because I'm like pushing her. I'm like, where do you live? At this point, I'm getting irritated because I'm like, downtown. We about to pass downtown because downtown is the small. I'm like, where do you live? I've never been over to her house. She had literally just moved into that apartment. And so I'd never been over to her house. I just know she kept saying student ghetto. I don't know what a student ghetto is. I've never been to a student ghetto. But she just kept saying it. And I'm like, Chocolate, I don't know where that is. Like, tell me, like, do any of this look familiar? And so I'm pushing her. She's pushing me back. I'm like, girl. So I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Like, we're tussling. So I'm pushing her. But I'm the type of person, like, and it's not okay, but I'm the type of person to like scratch and pinch and pull hair. Not okay. But so I started like pinching her to like bring her self-aware, like, girl, like, I'm driving and I don't know where I'm going. So I'm pinching her or whatever, and she goes off. But like, we're both like pissed off at each other. So like, understandably so. I didn't pinch her I'm pinching her like, bit, you know what I mean? And so she's like, pull over, let me go, da-da-da, pull over. And so like, we're going back and forth. Like, she's hitting me, I'm hitting her, but we're not like punching. We're not punching. I brought this story up to them because I was like asking them if it was still okay if I told it. They gave me the okay, and we're gonna do it together, like all three of us, to tell all three parts of like what happened that night, because like this is just like a small portion. They have their own separate story of what happened. And so I didn't punch her. She said that we was punching. I'm like, girl, I did not punch you. Like, we would have, no, that wasn't happening. But I know I was definitely pushing her, pulling her. Like, I was definitely doing the most, which I shouldn't have been doing as I was driving. Mind you, it's like 2 o'clock, probably going on 3 o'clock in the morning. And so she's like pissed, and she's like yelling, and she's like, let me go, pull over, I'm getting out the car, da da da. I'm like, you're not getting out the car, but I did pull over. Maybe in that moment I didn't want to get out the car, but I did pull over. So I pulled over, and I pulled over on like during the day it would have been a busy street, but like at this time, like there was no cars coming. There were no cars coming. But it's typically like a busy road. And she like gets out the car, and she's just like, no, I'm walking home, da-da-da, you pissed me off, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Chocolate, get in the car. So like, I like get out the car, and I like, how do I explain it? I'm like pushing on her, I'm pulling her hair, this wasn't okay. But like, I'm pulling her hair, I'm pushing her to like drag her back in the car. She's hitting me back, she's like hitting me, slapping me, or whatever. And so like, I eventually like grab both her arms. Oh, my ears are ringing. I grab both of her arms, and I like get on her knees, and I get on my knees and like hold her legs down. So I'm like on top of her like this. I said, get back in the car, calm down, blah, blah, blah. Now, from their side of the story, they say that there was like these 2 people with us, or driving separately, and like they were following us, I guess, to make sure that we got home safely. But I really don't remember them because I don't remember seeing these people at all. But they say that they, like my friend said, that they tried to like break us up or whatever once we got on the floor. And the police come. And they like jetted off because it was like, y'all need to come on, like get in your car or whatever. Like the police are here. And so I don't hear that. I don't hear that at all. I see the lights, but I'm like, oh, like they're just gonna like bypass us or whatever. And so the police lights are going or whatever. And mind you, as this is all happening, Peanut Butter eventually comes out the car. And she was like, let go of my sister, let go of my sister. Da-da-da-da. And then she like, not collapse, but she like falls down and she's on the floor. Like she's like unconscious. Like the whole night, like when I was driving us home, she kept coming in and out of consciousness. So she's like collapsed on the floor. And like I was like in front of like a school, I think, something like that. And so when the police come or whatever, I guess they're like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what are y'all doing? And Chocolate, she like bypasses them, doesn't even listen to them, and like goes to her sister. And they're like, leave her alone, don't touch her. And she's like, that's my sister, that's my sister. Da-da-da-da. And so they try to calm her down and like pick her up and like get her away from her sister or whatever, because they was also tending to her. She like just passed out on the floor. And so she starts kicking and doing all of this, like as they're like, cause she's a very petite girl, both of them are. And so like as she's like doing this, kicking her feet or whatever, they put her on handcuffs. At this point, this is when I realized they're not bypassing. Like she's about to go to jail at this point. But I'm still thinking like, no, like they're not gonna send her to jail. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm like, okay, y'all, my bad. I said homegirl name. But I'm just like, Chocolate, calm down, calm down, calm down. She's not coming down. They put her in handcuffs. They put her in the back of a car. Mind you, it's like 4 cars deep. Why? I don't know. But it's like 4 SUVs deep. And so they're like tending to her. And one of the police officers, he was a guy. He was like, you know, like what's going on here? Like what happened? And I told him, I was just like, you know, it was their birthday. We were just celebrating. I'm trying to get them home. She didn't know where she lived. We got out. She got out the car. We got into an argument or whatnot. And they're like, oh, like we got a complaint. Like, where'd you guys go? And I told him the library. And like he was familiar that it was a bar. And so when I told him that, he was just like, okay, like who's the driver? I was just like, oh my gosh, because I'm drunk, still very much drunk. And I'm like, I'm the driver. And he's just like, okay, like, can I see your license? I'm just like, okay. Don't have my phone. I don't have my phone, so therefore I don't have my wallet. Or I don't have my card and I don't have my ID. And so I'm like, oh, like I think it's in the car. Like, is it okay if I go grab it? I'm trying to sober up as fast as possible. Because at this point, like, I know it's going to go down. And so I'm trying to, like, sober up. I'm just like, oh, like, can I go get my phone? Like, I think it's in the car. Mind you, I go back to the car. My car is a wreck. Like, inside the car, it looks, because I always keep my car clean. Like, I'm a very clean person. Like, I need my space to be clean. And so, like, I go to my car, and mind you, I'm trying to sober up. And I'm like, what happened in here? What the heck just happened? So, like, my rear view mirror is on the floor. Don't know how that happened. I'm guessing one of us kicked it off. That's on the floor. There's shoes in the car. And there's, like, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. I don't know. Like, we didn't have any food or nothing like that. But, like, I just remember it being junky. And just being, like, what happened? And, like, the doors were wide open. And the lights was on. And I'm just like, man, whatever. Like, not even trying to clean up. Looking around for my phone. I do not see my phone. Mind you, my friend Chocolate is in the back of a police car. So I can't ask her if she has it. And peanut butter is unconscious. So I'm just like, obviously I don't know where my phone is. I don't know where my phone is. That would have my ID in it. I don't know where it is. And so he was like, so are you driving without a license? I said, no, I have a license. I just had it. I used it to get into the bar, blah, blah, blah. Don't know where my phone is. I think I gave it to a friend. And he's just like, okay, well, like, give me a registration, blah, blah, blah. Or insurance, or one of the two he asked for. So I gave that to him. And then he, like, sees that I have an active license or whatever. And then he's just like, oh, like, I want you to do, like, a series of tests for me, blah, blah, blah. And I think I remember him, like, asking me to do something like this. I don't remember exactly. He had me do, like, several different things. And I know one of them for sure was, like, walk in a straight line. Because, like, at this point, the car, like, this is the car, and this is, like, a field. And then past the field was, like, a parking lot. Because I think it was a school. I'm pretty sure it was a school. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm walking on one of the lines or whatever in the parking lot or whatever. And like, I'm walking straight, but like, I could just feel that I'm not walking straight enough. Like, I'm trying to walk, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to give this man no idea that like I'm drunk, but like how I was walking straight, it was just like, you would think I was on the tightrope. Like, you would think that if I got off this line, I was going to fall to my death. It wasn't looking good. And so he was just like, okay, I'm going to have you, like, do a breathalyzer test. I did a breathalyzer test. And I think the illegal, I don't remember what the lines are. Like what would you call it? I don't remember what it is to be considered illegally, like, intoxicated, but I want to say it's 0.4, and mine was like 1.8. It was something like dramatically high. It was like crazy high. And he was just like, I don't even know how you're functioning right now. I don't even know how you managed to do all of this, like, to get to this point. And he was just like, thank goodness, like, you're alive. But he was just like, but you're under arrest for drinking and driving. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I literally couldn't believe it. I literally just started bawling my eyes out. Like, throughout all of this, I was relatively calm because I don't know why, but I just thought, like, I wasn't going to go to jail. Like, I just thought that they were going to eventually release my friend Chocolate and, like, have somebody come pick us up. I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I didn't see myself really going to jail. And so, eventually, like, as all of this is happening, they take Peanut Butter and they take it to, they call an ambulance and they take her to the hospital. And they drove off with Chocolate. So, it's probably, like, 2 cars left now. And, yeah, they arrest me, they read me my rights, and all of that, and it was devastating. I was telling them that I just graduated, because this is literally, I graduated in 2018. I graduated June 2018, and their birthday was 2 months later. I don't want to get too much detail, but I'm pretty sure, like, if you know who they are, like, it is what it is. Like, it happened. But, yeah, so then, like, my birthday is in the same month, in August. So, yeah, and I was just, like, telling them, like, my birthday is coming up. I'm about to be 22, and I just graduated. So, I had just graduated like, I walked in June, but, like, I was still taking one summer class. And I was already, like, pretty much passing that class. And that wasn't over until the end of July. I'm sorry. So that wasn't over until the end of July. So, yeah. Like, I knew I was graduating or whatnot. So I had already, like, I already graduated. And I had just got out of class. Like, I had just finished my class. So, like, I'm turned up. Like, I'm done with stuff. Like, I spent whole freaking summer actually in summer school. That was the only year that I went to summer school. Literally, like, in summer school. And then no, that's not I did summer school the year before. But anyways, spent the whole summer, like, freaking in summer school. My best friends, just freaking had their birthday. Like, it was literally the next day, like, because it was the morning time. It was like the next day of their birthday. And I was just graduated, and I'm just like, dang, like, I'm trying to explain to them, like, please don't do this. But they already read me my Miranda rights and everything. And so I get in the car, and I'm just devastated. And they take me in, and when they take me in, I go into like this room, and like I'm just sitting there like in handcuffs, most uncomfortable things ever, because they had them tight, boy. Like, they had them mad tight. And my wrists are relatively small. Maybe they're not, but like they had them really tight. And so I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like waiting. The time is ticking. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning now, and I'm just like tired at this point. Like, I'm sobering up. Like, I'm dang near sober at this point. And yeah. And so afterwards, they finally take me into a separate room, and where they pretty much tell me to get naked, and like they pat me down. And then, like, after they pat me, mind you, this is so uncomfortable. Like, everything like that's happening is so uncomfortable. After they pat me down and everything like that, I would never get these again. I don't think so. I had like these crochet locks in my head, and it had like gold wire in them, and then like at the ends of some of them I had beads, and I had shells and stuff like that. And so like after they gave me like the clothes or whatever, they was like, you need to take those out of your hair. Like, can they come out? And I was just like, yeah, but like, do I have to take them out? Like, I'm not gonna be here long. Like, I'm trying to just tell them like this is gonna be my only night here. Like, I'm pretty sure of it. And I'm just like, I don't like, why should I have to take them down? And they're just like, no, you need to take those out. So I didn't take out the dreads, but I took out the metal. I don't think it was metal. I'm pretty sure it was just like gold yarn or whatever that was in my hair, and like the beads and everything. And so it's like this female officer, she's like helping me, and we take those out, and it takes forever because I had so many in my head. And we're taking those out, and I'm just like crying. I'm like telling her my situation, and she's just like, well, now like this is your lesson, now you know, blah blah. And she's just like, you know, drinking and driving definitely like isn't okay. Like, maybe you need this, because she was just like, this probably isn't your first time. Well, she was very much right. Like, definitely not my first time. I said something, but I wanted to cut it out because I was like, I didn't want to incriminate myself. But she was pretty much just like, maybe I needed this, you know, because this probably wasn't your first time doing this or whatever. And I was just like, she was right. She was right. So she was just like, this is just like your wake-up call. Like, this isn't okay. You can't be drinking and driving, da da da. Mind you, we doing all this that she's like helping me take down the yarn and stuff out of my hair. And so like, I probably got into my cell at like 6, 7 in the morning, and I could barely sleep. They gave me these really uncomfortable like shower looking shoes. They were so uncomfortable. They literally hurt so freaking much. Oh my gosh. They sucked. Clearly I know they're not supposed to be comfortable, but like as soon as I got into my cell, I remember like they came by with like food and like put it through a slide. Like, literally I was just like, dang, like I'm really in jail. Like, this is real life. Like, I'm really in jail right now. I don't remember what the freak it was, but I remember it was like beans. It was like what are those beans called? Baked beans. But you know how people put ground beef in it? I know for a fact I had like that with like a roll. I can't remember what else. Maybe like a fruit cup, but I can't remember what else. But it was definitely like some beans. And I hate beans. I hate baked beans, especially with meat in it. But I don't like baked beans at all. But I just remember just looking at it and just being like, of course, like this sucks. Like, why would they give me, like, I'm hungry too. But the only thing I ate was the bread. And I was just like, dang, like can I get my one phone call? But they finally came around and said I can get my one phone call. And I probably called my sister at like 9, 10 in the morning. And I like called her, and I was just like, hey, I'm in jail, blah blah blah. Like, can you please like pay for my bond? Like pay for my bond, but I was gonna pay her back, you know what I mean? And she told me she already knew. And I talked to her today, and she was just like, yeah, because at this time me and her were living together in my parents' old house in Grand Rapids, and my school's in Kalamazoo. So I was living in Grand Rapids, and I didn't come home. And she said that she called like my friend Shorty and was just like, hey, like, did you get dropped off? Like, are you at home? Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, I'm at home. Like, I don't know where Kayla is or whatever. And she was just like, oh, like, she didn't come home last night. Like, something's not right. So she, like, looked up my name, like, in booking and stuff like that and saw that I was booked last night. And I was just like, dang, like, I never knew that. Like, she never told me that she did that. I thought when she said she knew, she had heard from, like, you know, chocolate or peanut butter. But she said that she already knew because, like, she looked up herself. And I was just like, dang, girl, you never told me that. Like, I did not know they was that quick with it. And so, yeah, I called her and she told me that she already knew and that she was, like, going to get me out. I told her, like, my bond was $500, and I had the money for it, but it's just like, dang, like, don't nobody want to spend their money on that, especially because, like, that was not the only thing I ever had to pay for. Like, so she got me out, and I probably got out around like 2:00 in the afternoon. I literally just stayed in my cell the entire time. I don't think they ever opened it back up, honestly. Yeah, they didn't open back up until I was, like, released. And yeah, so she came to pick me up, and when she picked me up, chocolate and peanut butter and Shorty was in the car, and chocolate or peanut butter didn't talk to me. Maybe peanut butter did, but I know for sure chocolate didn't talk to me. And that was that. Like, that was that night. It was really traumatic, really, really messed up. And we eventually got back on speaking terms and, like, made our apologies because, like I was a messy drunk. Like, I was a messy drunk. Like, it's not okay. Like, nowadays, like, I can get drunk, but I don't see myself ever getting to that point unless I'm, like, with family and we, like, in the house. Like, you know what I mean? But, like, still, like, then, like, I used to drink. I was going through some things too. Like, I was going through some mental things, but it's not okay. But I definitely did, like, have, like, a drinking, like, issue, like, especially, like, after I turned 21. I had, like, was newly single, and, like, my head mentally was just kind of, like, scrambled. Not okay though, but yeah, no. And I wasn't newly single, but it was still, like, hitting to me, like, you know, girl was single. But at that point, you know, now. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. So the reason why we're gonna do it, like, together, like, me and my friends are gonna, like, pretty much retell the story, because what happened to me last night is completely different, or not last night, but, like, that night, excuse me, what happened to me is completely different from what they both went through. Again, we're friends now. Like, they're still, like, my sisters. Like, we're the best of friends now. All of us are still very close. But yeah, that was, I feel like it's important to tell, like, everybody's side of the story, even my sisters, because, like, that night just went differently for everybody, even though my sister wasn't there. For everybody, it just went differently. So pretty much, just like you guys know, like, if you're curious, I got my license restricted for 6 months. So at the time, I was working at this place called Vacay in Woodland Mall, and I think I was also working at Foot Locker. I'm pretty sure I was working at both of them, because once I graduated, I was working at both. So I was working at both places or whatnot. So my license was restricted, so I could only go to work, doctor's appointments, and school. But I was not out of school, so work and doctor's appointments, that was the only place that I could go. And home, like, that's it. Like, I was not allowed to be out, just, like, out driving or whatever. So my license got restricted for 6 months, and then what else happened? I had to take, like, a DUI class. That was really traumatizing. Like, I literally cried my eyes out when I went to that class, because, like, they brought in somebody who was, like, a victim, because, like, their mother was pregnant, I believe. Their mother was pregnant with them in the womb, and she was hit by a drunk driver, and their mother died, and the baby survived, which was the person who came in. but like they had all these conditions that were wrong with them, and you know, he never even saw life. And it was just, oh my gosh, it really opened my eyes with like how messed up it is and how selfish it is of me to have done that in the past. And I feel like that was really it as far as like my punishment. I had to go to court twice. My first initial court, I pled not guilty, and then I had to come back or whatnot, and then yeah, that was it. And then I came back and pled guilty, and then once I came back and pled guilty, that's when they told me like everything that I had to do. Oh no, I lied. I also had to pay for, I think it was like $1,200 for something. But the crazy thing is, I found out later that I didn't have to pay for it. But nobody told me I didn't have to pay for it, because all the documents and everything that I had said that I had to pay for it. But if I would have waited longer and not pay for it, I guess I would not have to have paid for it. But I can't remember what it was called. But it was maybe $1,200 or $1,000. It was something like that I had to pay. So I had to pay that. And in my car, I lost my ID, lost my card, lost my phone. So I had a trap phone for a good little minute. And this dude, I swear that he stole my phone. I was like, literally, like, I was so mad. I was just like, you stole my phone. Because I kind of liked it, that guy. And I'm like, dang, like, I liked you. And like, you stole my phone, blah, blah, blah. Ain't nobody got your phone. And I ended up still like talking to him again. But I swear, like, even to this day, I'm like, dang, I think he took my phone. I had to get a new card, ID. What else happened? Oh, and I had to get a new actual car. Because that night they like towed my car to the parking lot, so it wasn't on the road. So like that was nice that they didn't tow it to an actual lot, and I would have to pay to get that. Like they didn't do that. They just towed it to like the school that was right in front of. And when I went the next day, because I had my keys and everything, or the keys is actually in the car. I went to turn it on and the car just wouldn't start. The car wouldn't start, so I had to actually get it towed from there to my house, all the way in Grand Rapids. And that was probably like $100-ish. But I think my insurance paid for part of it, and I had to pay like $60-ish. I don't remember. But I just know my insurance only paid for like 50-ish miles. So I had to pay for like the remaining like little bit of miles. But my car never worked after that. Don't know what happened. Got it started. Got people to look at it, to come to the house to look at it. They said they didn't know why it wasn't starting. So I had to get a new phone. Had to get a new car. And I sold my car to a freaking junkyard for $100. And that car was definitely not worth it. I love that car so freaking much. And I think I had only bought it for like $2,000. But I want to say that's it. I have plenty more stories about like me being intoxicated and like having crazy things happen to me and like doing crazy things. And I'm gonna share them. But like, you know, we don't gotta throw them all out there. Again, I just want to share the story time because I've been watching story times and I was like, let me share one. So that's what happened to me. That's when I went to jail. It was not fun. It was short-lived. And I actually didn't get jobs because of it. Because I don't know if that's the case now, but I'm pretty sure it is. When you go to like jail for like a DUI, it stays on your record. Like it doesn't go away. Like I tried to like, my dad's friend is a lawyer, and I was just like, hey, like will this ever go away? And he's like, no, it's not gonna go away. It's gonna always be there. So that sucks. Maybe because of like how drunk I was, but it will not go away. And I remember I was trying to get a job with Coca-Cola as a merchandiser. It was only like $15 an hour, but I was like, oh, Coca-Cola is a great company. And at the time, I knew I wanted to move to Georgia and to Atlanta or whatever. And, you know, Coke is here. So I'm like, oh, this looks great on my resume, blah, blah. Got the job, got the offer letter, everything. ran my background check. I told the HR lady, I said, listen, something happened a month ago that you're gonna see. Just want to let you know, like, it's okay. And she was just like, I don't know, like, it's still pretty fresh, like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna, like, you know, we're gonna see it or whatever. And she was just like, I'll let you know. Literally, as soon as they ran my background check, she called me, like, probably a week later. It was just like, oh, unfortunately, like, you know, it was flagged, and, you know, we're gonna have to, you know, not offer you the job anymore. Like, they literally offered it to me, and I signed the offer letter, and then they ran the background check, and they just ripped it from underneath me. So that sucks. But, you know, you live and you learn. That was the only job that I've ever not gotten because of that. Like, I work for a Fortune 500 company now, and they said that they seen it, like, literally, because I always request my background checks, and you can see it on there. But because that was, you know, merchandising, I was actually driving to different stores. So, like, that, I feel like that's the only reason why. So I can't work for FedEx or Amazon. But, you know, as long as I'm sitting behind a desk, I can do the job. So this video is already at 40 minutes. I'm already slurring my words because I'm a little drunk. Maybe not a good look since I'm telling a story, but I'm literally about to go to bed after this. Probably edit it and post it today, and then yeah. So that is the story when me and my best friends went to jail, and they're still my best friends. And, you know, we don't laugh about it now, but we can, like, we did laugh about it the other day. We laughed about it, but, like, you know, it just brought us closer together because, like, what friends can you say, like, y'all all went to jail together and, like, y'all, like, still good friends? Like, what friends do you know? Like, I'll wait. Those are my road dogs. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to my story. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, leave a comment down below. It really helps me out a lot. And subscribe so you guys can see my face again. All right, bye.